Welcome to Heart of Europe. Allow me to draw you into a narrative that stretches across continents and delves into the heart of European security. Imagine a landscape where strategic decisions ripple through the fabric of international relations, where the specter of conflict demands a reevaluation of defense policies. This is the backdrop against which we reassess Europe's defense posture, with a particular focus on the persistent threat posed by Russia. Through the lens of recent developments and strategic recalibrations, we will explore how Europe is fortifying its defenses and reshaping its military strategies in response to evolving geopolitical dynamics. Join me, Alex Chandler, as we embark on this comprehensive journey to understand the intricacies of continental defense in the face of ongoing challenges. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has served as a stark reminder of the volatility and unpredictability of international security. This conflict has not only brought immediate threats to the forefront, but has also prompted a profound reassessment of defense policies across Europe. The need to address these threats while building a resilient and capable defense posture for the future has become an urgent priority. In response to the escalating threats, European countries have significantly increased their defense budgets. For instance, the European Union defense spending reached a record €270 billion in 2023. This increase reflects the urgency to address capability gaps, particularly in areas such as ammunition supplies and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. Joint production and procurement of defense equipment have become essential strategies. The European Defense Capability Consortia, EDCC, and the European Defense Fund, EDF, exemplify this shift towards coordinated responses to heightened military demands. A critical aspect of Europe's defense strategy involves strengthening its defense technological and industrial base, EDT. This effort aims to meet the needs of member states' armed forces while reducing dependence on non-EU suppliers. By improving access to public and private finance for defense projects and integrating Ukraine's defense industry into the ETIB, the EU seeks to bolster its self-reliance and technological edge. Strategic coordination and cooperation have taken center stage in this reassessment. The European Defense Agency, EDA, has been given a reinforced mandate to support member states through the full development cycle of military capabilities. This includes fostering cooperation with NATO, aggregating demand towards joint procurement, and enabling collaborative defense research and innovation. Efforts are also underway to operationalize the EU rapid deployment capacity by 2025, enhancing the EU's ability to respond swiftly to emerging threats. The focus on hybrid and cyber threats has intensified. The EU is developing dedicated instruments like the Cyber Diplomacy Toolbox and the EU Hybrid Toolbox to strengthen prevention, detection, deterrence, and response to hybrid and cyber threats targeting the EU and its member states. These measures aim to address the multifaceted nature of modern warfare, which increasingly involves non-traditional threats. The reassessment of defense policies also encompasses the geopolitical and strategic implications for specific regions within Europe. The Baltic states, for instance, face unique security challenges due to their geographical proximity to Russia. NATO's strategy includes addressing these vulnerabilities by enhancing deterrence and defense capabilities in the region. Additionally, there is a heightened focus on Russia's nuclear capabilities and the potential for escalation. European countries are preparing for various scenarios, including conventional and nuclear threats, and are reinforcing their strategic deterrence measures. Despite the comprehensive efforts to bolster defense capabilities, several key weaknesses persist in NATO's current defense policies against Russia. These weaknesses highlight areas that require urgent attention and improvement to ensure a robust and credible defense posture. One significant challenge lies in NATO's readiness and response time. The alliance faces difficulties in rapidly deploying forces in response to potential Russian aggression. The current posture, largely based on a tripwire strategy, may not be sufficient to deter or repel a swift Russian offensive, particularly in vulnerable regions like the Baltics. Additionally, there is a notable conventional force imbalance between NATO and Russia. Studies indicate a shortage of combat battalions in NATO compared to Russian capabilities, which could be problematic in scenarios requiring rapid force deployment. Beyond ground forces, NATO has notable gaps in air power and air defense capabilities. These shortcomings could hinder the alliance's ability to establish air superiority in a conflict scenario, which is crucial for any large-scale operation. While NATO relies heavily on nuclear deterrence, several issues persist in this area. The exclusion of France's nuclear forces from NATO planning, the UK's reduced nuclear capability, and credibility concerns about NATO's air-delivered nuclear capabilities all contribute to challenges in this domain. NATO's ability to sustain a prolonged conflict is also a concern. The alliance faces issues with ammunition supplies and the need to rapidly scale up defense industrial production. These challenges have been underscored by the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Furthermore, NATO's preparedness for hybrid and cyber threats from Russia remains a developing area. While efforts are being made to address these issues, the alliance's ability to counter non-traditional threats effectively is still evolving. Achieving a unified strategic vision among NATO members presents another challenge. Differing threat perceptions and political priorities among member states can hinder decisive action and policy implementation. Despite recent efforts to strengthen NATO's eastern flank, the current forward presence may still fall short of the denial standard required to make a Russian fait accompli untenable. This reliance on the threat of nuclear escalation underscores the need for a more robust conventional deterrent. When comparing NATO's defense spending to Russia's military budget, the disparity becomes evident. NATO's combined annual defense budget exceeds $1 trillion, dwarfing Russia's annual military budget, which is estimated to be between $65 to $70 billion. This significant difference highlights NATO's substantial financial resources compared to Russia. The United States, as the largest NATO contributor, spent $801 billion on defense in 2021, which alone surpasses Russia's entire military budget. Other NATO members collectively spent about $363 billion in the same year, still significantly more than Russia. Despite the massive disparity in overall budgets, Russia's military capabilities remain significant due to lower costs and focused spending on key areas like nuclear capabilities and cyber warfare. While NATO's collective spending far exceeds Russia's, it is important to note that this spending is divided among 30 member states with diverse priorities and needs. In contrast, Russia can concentrate its smaller budget more directly on its specific strategic objectives and perceived threats. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has led to increased defense spending globally, with both NATO members and Russia allocating more resources to their military budgets in recent years. Russia's military modernization efforts have been ongoing for over a decade, with significant investments aimed at enhancing various aspects of its military capabilities. The focus has been on state armament programs, nuclear deterrence, conventional forces, and hybrid and cyber warfare. The 2010-2020 State Armament Program emphasized modernizing the Russian aerospace forces, air defense, and strategic missile forces. This program included investments in new aircraft, hypersonic missile systems, and the Sarmat ICBM. The subsequent 2021-2030 program continues this emphasis on advanced weaponry, with plans to produce thousands of UAVs and further develop nuclear and conventional missile systems. Russia's nuclear deterrence strategy involves maintaining one of the world's largest and most varied nuclear arsenals. The doctrine includes the escalate to de-escalate strategy, allowing for the use of nuclear weapons in response to conventional threats. Significant upgrades to nuclear forces, including new delivery systems and multi-layered air defense systems like the S-400, are central to this strategy. In terms of conventional forces, Russia has focused on rebuilding and modernizing its ground and air forces, learning from combat losses in Ukraine. Additionally, strategic coercion through hybrid and cyber warfare remains a key component of Russia's approach, emphasizing low-level, continuous warfare at the seams of democratic societies. In contrast, NATO's modernization strategy is multifaceted, focusing on maintaining interoperability among member states and addressing emerging threats. Collective defense and deterrence are central, with enhanced forward presence in Eastern Europe to deter aggression and reassure allies. NATO's nuclear policy emphasizes maintaining a credible deterrent through the US, UK, and France. Technological advancements play a crucial role in NATO's strategy, with a focus on AI, cyber capabilities, and joint production and procurement. Regular large-scale exercises like Defender Europe build readiness and interoperability among member states. NATO also supports allies and partners in modernizing their forces, exemplified by the U.S. Army's Security Assistance Training Management Organization, SATMO, aiding Ukraine's transition to NATO standards. Addressing hybrid threats is another priority for NATO. Dedicated instruments like the Cyber Diplomacy Toolbox and the EU Hybrid Toolbox have been developed to counter hybrid and cyber threats effectively. This approach highlights NATO's commitment to a coordinated response to non-traditional threats. The nuclear arsenals of NATO and Russia have profound implications for global security. The combined nuclear arsenal of the United States, United Kingdom, and France, amounting to 5,943 nuclear warheads, is comparable to Russia's 5,977 warheads. This parity in nuclear capabilities plays a critical role in maintaining strategic stability. Strategic deterrence remains a cornerstone of global security, with the concept of mutually assured destruction, MAD, preventing direct military confrontation between NATO and Russia. However, this state of parity can fuel ongoing modernization efforts and potentially spark new arms races, increasing global tensions and diverting resources from other security priorities. The risk of escalation is a significant concern. The presence of large nuclear arsenals introduces the potential for conflicts to escalate to nuclear use, especially given Russia's escalate to de-escalate doctrine. This risk underscores the importance of effective communication and crisis management between nuclear-armed states. Proliferation concerns also arise from the continued reliance on nuclear weapons by major powers. Other nations may pursue nuclear capabilities, undermining global non-proliferation efforts. Moreover, the complexity of modern nuclear strategies and the development of new delivery systems, such as hypersonic missiles, pose challenges to existing arms control agreements and non-proliferation regimes. The humanitarian and environmental consequences of nuclear weapons cannot be overstated. The use of nuclear weapons would have catastrophic consequences, affecting not only the immediate area, but also causing long-term environmental and health impacts. This reality underscores the need for continued efforts toward nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation to reduce the risk of nuclear conflict and its devastating effects. To address the identified weaknesses and ensure a robust and credible defense posture against Russia, several key recommendations emerge. NATO should prioritize improving rapid deployment capabilities and readiness for immediate response to potential Russian aggression. This includes pre-positioning equipment and increasing the presence of ready forces in vulnerable regions. Efforts should be made to close the gap in conventional forces between NATO and Russia. This could involve increasing the number of combat battalions, enhancing air power and air defense capabilities, and ensuring a more balanced force posture. Continued emphasis on joint production, procurement, and exercises will enhance NATO's interoperability and collective defense capabilities. This includes fostering closer cooperation with the European Union and integrating new technologies. NATO should further develop dedicated instruments to counter hybrid and cyber threats. This includes enhancing cyber defense capabilities, improving intelligence sharing, and strengthening resilience against non-traditional threats. Maintaining a credible nuclear deterrent while enhancing crisis management mechanisms is crucial. This involves modernizing nuclear forces, ensuring effective communication channels, and promoting arms control and non-proliferation efforts. Continued investment in AI, cyber capabilities, and advanced weapon systems will ensure NATO remains at the forefront of defense innovation. This includes supporting research and development initiatives and fostering public-private partnerships. NATO should provide tailored support to regions with unique security challenges, such as the Baltic states. This includes strengthening regional defense capabilities, conducting regular exercises, and ensuring a robust presence to deter potential threats. NATO members should continue to increase defense spending to address capability gaps and ensure a sustainable and effective defense posture. This includes prioritizing investments in critical areas such as ammunition supplies, intelligence, and surveillance capabilities. In conclusion, reassessing Europe's defense policies in light of the ongoing threat posed by Russia involves a comprehensive approach that addresses key weaknesses, enhances strategic coordination, and invests in future capabilities. By implementing these recommendations, NATO can ensure a robust and credible defense posture, capable of deterring aggression and maintaining global security. In closing, the complexities of Europe's defense posture and the ongoing threat posed by Russia demand our unwavering attention and strategic acumen. As we navigate this intricate landscape, it is essential to remember that our collective security hinges on adaptability, with cooperation, and a relentless commitment to innovation. By addressing our current weaknesses and bolstering our defense capabilities, we can ensure a robust and credible deterrence that safeguards not only Europe, but global stability. As we move forward, let us remain vigilant and resolute, fostering unity among our allies and continuously refining our strategies to meet the evolving challenges of our time. The path ahead is fraught with uncertainties, but with determination and a shared vision, we can build a secure future for generations to come. Thank you for joining me, Alex Chandler, on this journey through the intricacies of continental defense. Together, we can rise to meet the challenges and forge a path toward lasting peace and security.